to pull my head up out the covers. There are people, watch this you all, who are hiding under the cover today. And they are afraid of the creature of the world lagoon. As a matter of fact, they won't even come to church anymore. They won't even come out of their homes because they're afraid of what the world offers. They're looking at the violence on television. They're looking at the disrespect from children. They're looking at everything that's happening in the world. And they've got their heads under the cover. And they're asking the same question I asked my mama. Is it over yet? And somebody, I came to tell somebody today that tell them it's coming to an end. Look at your neighbor and tell them it's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. You are, they are waiting for somebody and something to bring deliverance. And I came to tell somebody in here who may be dealing with some anxieties or dealing with some issues. I came to tell you, your anxiety, your issue, your situation, that thing is coming to an end. Here's your proposition for today. The big idea of this message is this. The enemy has been frightening people with his lies, but he can no longer do this. He can no longer frighten us with his lies, because the anointing, somebody say the anointing. The anointing of God destroys the yoke of the enemy. You gotta get that in your spirit. Is that everything that comes at you, that Satan brings to you, that the enemy comes, it's a lie. It's not from God. And when he brings it to you, it's designed to cause us to become afraid. And watch this. It is never the ability of Satan to kill or destroy us. That's what he desires to do. But what he does is put enough fear in us to cause us to walk away from God, which then immediately puts us in destruction. And I came to tell you now, you don't have to be afraid of whatever is coming at you, because the anointing of God destroys the yoke of the enemy. We're in the book of Isaiah, and I need you to stay with me for a minute, because I've got to kind of help you understand Isaiah's book. We're in this book of Isaiah, and it's one of the prophets. In the Bible, the Old Testament is broken up. There are two sets of prophets. There are what's called the major and minor prophets. And Isaiah's book is one of the major prophets in the Old Testament. Now watch this. I used to think that when they said major and minor prophet, that these guys had something that these other guys didn't. I was like, well, were they more anointed? No. When they say major and minor prophet, it simply talks about and dealing with the length of the book. Those that are lengthy, like Isaiah with 60 some odd chapters, those books are considered major prophets. And the other books that are smaller, Malachi, Haggai, Zephaniah, those are minor prophets. There are 5 major prophets and 12 minor prophets. Isaiah, though, is considered, he's the first of the major prophets, and his prophecy is the only one, or the first one that contained the information about the baby Jesus coming. In Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14. Isaiah, watch this, comes on the scene during a time when Israel is being threatened with an attack from Assyria. So here's the Assyrian king is now attacking Israel. Now, you might say, well, that don't sound too bad. You know, we all get attacked. Well, you got to understand. Now, when you study Assyria during this time, the Assyrian army was the worst army ever. I'm talking about ever. Forever. There was no army worse than the Assyrian army. Watch this, you all. This army was so bad, they would go and they would capture the men of Israel, or whatever place they were attacking. And they wouldn't just kill them. It would be normal to just put a spear in them or something. No, that was too easy. They would take the men, and during this time, they're in the desert. They would take all the men and bury them up to their necks in the desert. And they would let the sun cook them all day. And they would wait until either they died or went crazy. And they would stand back and laugh. They would visit them every day to see exactly where they were. And when they were going crazy because you couldn't do anything and the sun was beating on your head, they would sit back and they would laugh. They would take the women and they would rape all of them before they killed them. They would not let not a woman go without being raped. So they would just put you up, rape 35, kill them, then get 35 more. And they would do this every day. They would cook and boil children. To hear them scream. This is the army. This is the people. This is the army that's against Israel right now. And this is when God, watch this, raises up Isaiah to speak against it. As a matter of fact, watch this. Those of you who understand the story of Jonah, when Jonah said, I would rather get on this ship than to go to Nineveh. Well, these were the people that God wanted Jonah to go bless. That's why Jonah said, I'd rather ride on this ship than to do what you said, God. It wasn't that Jonah just didn't want to do what God said. He hated the Assyrians. He knew what they were about. So he was like, listen, God, I would rather get on this ship and go in the opposite direction rather than go be a blessing to some people that's been destroying my people. How do we do that, you all? How do we do that? How? It's very difficult to be a blessing to those who have been destroying you all your life. It's hard. I mean, come on now. Come on, let's be for real. Here's some guy who been beating up your great-grandmama, your grandmama, your auntie Bobette, everybody in your family, every day. I hope don't nobody have an auntie Bobette. Okay, because do you really? You have got to be. The name is Bobette. Okay, I gotta find a new name. I've been using Bobette forever. I've never found anyone with an auntie Bobette. I've always used auntie. Okay, Gertrude. All right.
I'm just messing.
I was about to say now. Come on now. So here's someone who has been destroying your family for generations, and all of a sudden God says, "I want you to go pray for him." That's basically what he told this boy in Nineveh, the one that ended up in that well. I want you to go pray for him. He was like, "I'm not doing that. I ain't praying for them. You're crazy." He was like, "God, I'm not praying for them. It is impossible." And here we are today. Still dealing with oppression, still dealing with issues from a kingdom, from a nation that has not yet accepted the fact that they have some issues that we need to deal with. And God says for us, pray for them. He turns around and says, pray for them. We've got underfunded schools. Just pray for them. We've got people on corners who selling drugs because they can't find a job. Just pray for them. We've got brothers going to prison and getting out of prison, but they've not been rehabilitated. And so they come back to the block to go back to prison. And God says, just pray for them. I feel like Jonah sometimes. I'd rather go in the well than to pray for these people. They don't care. But here we go, you all. Watch this. The fact of the matter is that God is saying to us today is that you can pray for them because it's not going to be long, because the yoke of bondage is going to be destroyed because of the anointing. It's going to be destroyed. You all, the Assyrian army was ruthless. They were powerful and they were big. And because of the disobedience of Israel, God, watch this, used the Assyrians as punishment. This is how God operates. Watch this now. God used the Assyrians to punish Israel because of their disobedience. Now look. That's a good thing though, because watch this. Even though the Assyrians were doing what they were doing to everybody else, because God chose them as the punishers, there was only certain things that they could do. You've got to understand that the enemy in your life